of fusion, so we should understand the basic concept of ERP first. What exactly is an ERP? So ERP, if you see the full form of ERP, it's just like enterprise resource planning. But I would appreciate if you can just go a little bit more in depth and just find out how ERP came up, why exactly ERP came up, and what was the need of it. So that would be much better for us to understand fusion as well. Okay. So ERP, as you can see, enterprise. What is an enterprise? It is just a group of people working for a common goal. Like if you just take a small grocery shop, also 3 or 4 people working for a common goal. That can be also said as an enterprise. Okay. Resources we know already, like 4 M's: men, money, machine, material, etc. All these are nothing but resources. Planning. When we have got a group of people working for you, and we have got resources, then obviously then you should have a systematic way to work on, and that's nothing but planning. So if you just go for the definition wise, the ERP, this is what exactly an ERP. But what we'll do is we'll just go a little bit more in depth, and let's see. Okay. So first, so let us just consider that there is a company like ABC Steel or any XYZ, whatever you just feel good. Okay. So this company is having some 4 branches or 4 factories in different places. Okay. And let us see, like this company is in like Jamshedpur, Mumbai, Delhi, Hyderabad. Just think from the wise data. You are in somewhat like 1960s or 70s, where there wasn't any computer or any system or any software. So we all used to do some manual works. Okay. Okay. So here you can see. So likewise, if you just go back also, so though you don't have any softwares, though you don't have any systems there also, but there would have been like different departments, like if sales department, manufacturing department, HR, finance, logistics, marketing, and admin. These are the some of the common and few departments that they used to have. If you just take an example of Coca-Cola, it was started from 17th century, and at that time precisely we don't have any systems, we don't have any computers or hardware or any softwares working for us, but so like the factories and everything, the operations used to run on how exactly they used to have some departments. So all this work was mostly done like 99 or 100%, you can just take it, it was like manual recording in the books. Okay. So one by one they used to record it manually, and obviously they used to have many drawbacks also, like regarding accuracy, time constraints, and the proper connectivity. Like obviously if you want to know like the available steel in Delhi and Jamshedpur immediately, you can't. Just take an example, like you have got some sales from Hyderabad, and in Hyderabad you don't have that much of stock available, and you want to check it out in Mumbai or Jamshedpur or Delhi. So was that available? Obviously no, because there wasn't any proper connectivity at all. So then they came up with computers. The evolution of computers came. Okay. And they installed some softwares one by one for different departments. Okay. So just think, now we are after deploying the softwares in sales, manufacturing, HR, finance, logistics, marketing, and admin. So these different departments are having different softwares. So this has reduced a lot of tough times for them. So a little bit accuracy has increased by deploying the software, and their recording and their storage data and everything. It was all reduced. Okay, the workload was reduced genuinely, but still the problem exists. The connectivities, and if I want to know like the stock of any just any factory right now, so it would be difficult for me to identify it. So suppose you are sitting in the top management of ABC Steel, and you want to know the HR or HR data, or like the data of your employees immediately, Right now for 4 departments, it would have been very, very difficult. So what they used to do is they used to pull out the reports from each department, okay, from each software, and compile it into one Excel sheet or something like that, and they used to submit it to your top management. So this is how the ERP came up now. So they need something centralized. They need to be focused and they need to be controlled by one person, like one person sitting on top and working, and like if they just want to know the data of any department, any employee, anywhere, in any factory or any region at any point of time, they want to know it immediately. So there comes the evolution of ERP right now. So after implementing this ERP software, so everything comes to a centralized location. Just think like that, okay? So now the connectivity, the problem is gone, because if you are sitting on the top management, after the deployment of ERP, you will be able to access of any particular department's data at any point of time. So right now, many things have been reduced. Okay, so like the accuracy is increased, workload is reduced, and time constraints, that is also reduced. So this is nothing but ERP software, as a software that controls or that shares the data of every department, of every employee, of every place, every location. So that's nothing but ERP. Okay, so going forward, so let us just discuss a little bit about Oracle. Okay, it was founded in 1977. Okay, and it's just largest second largest software company in the world right now, but still stands number one in terms of database. It is largest database vendor. So Oracle apps version, you can see like it's 9.0, 9.1, 9.5, 11i, EBS, R12 came with different versions. And going forward, the Fusion is the latest version. Okay, in Fusion also we have got release 8, 11, 12. So we'll be working on release 12. Fusion, in other words, can be termed as ERP Cloud also. So we'll be looking into these modules, Oracle Cloud, like GL Cloud, Payables Cloud, expenses, receivables, cash management, assets, and subledger accounting as well. So going on, I'll just take you through one by one through Payables. What exactly does the Payables do? For experienced ones, I really know this will be an easy, and this will be easy to understand for you, because you are already you have already worked on this. So basically, AP, accounts payables. What exactly is account payables? So just take in this sense, is in simpler term. So whatever the payment that you are doing, okay, in your organization, if there is any payment that has to go out, it has to be done through accounts payables. That's it. So there isn't any other way that the payment will be done. Okay, and there are different attributes, like you can see in payables, like general ledger, like invoicing and payments, expenses reporting. There are many things that will be working on. Then we have receivables. So obviously, when you are doing any purchasing, if you are purchasing any raw materials, then you have to do the payments, and that has to be done through accounts payables. So suppose, in other words, like you are going to sell something. Okay, so obviously, if you are running an organization, there has to be two wings. Basically, the one should be purchasing, the other should be selling. You purchase any of your raw materials, manufacture it, and you do it selling. So when you do selling, obviously there will be some revenue, there will be some income, and there will be some amount that comes into your company from different sources. So whatever the amount that's coming into your organization, it has to come through receivables. Account receivables has to record each and every revenue or income, you can tell, whatever it is. Okay, so that's the basic job of accounts receivables. Then we'll come to assets. Okay, so like we have come across accounts payables right now and accounts receivables. So when you come to assets, obviously there is some assets in the name of your company, and that all has to be recorded in fixed assets. Okay, and again there is one more connectivity over here. Just take an example. Okay, take an example that you are purchasing a machinery for your organization. Okay, suppose that you are owning a steel organization or any manufacturing company or any other, some XYZ. So you are purchasing some machinery. Machinery is nothing but an asset. Okay. So for that, what you will do is when you purchase it, first you do the payments. Okay. You will receive the bill, you will receive the invoice, and based on the invoice, you will do the payments. And this machinery is recorded in asset. So we here you can see there is a little bit connectivity of AP and GL as well. Going forward, we'll be seeing everything over here, like the connectivities between different modules, much in detail. Okay. Then comes cash management. Okay. So here you are doing the payments, and you are receiving, like receiving the revenue. Ultimately, it has to go through cash management. Okay. So cash management is a place where all the banking activities are done. So if you are telling, like if you are doing a payment from accounts payable, so that doesn't mean that you have to do any follow up something in cash management. So what happens is, from accounts payables you create a payment, literally it goes to cash management and their reconciliation happens. So from particular bank, from A, B, C, any bank you do the payment, what happens is later on you can come to cash management and see the reconciliation. You can see all your bank statements in cash management. Okay. And similarly, when you are receiving any amount, what happens is, firstly it has to touch your bank, and from there the remittance advice or the amount that you have received is recorded in accounts receivables. So here you can see account cash management is connected to accounts payables as well as accounts receivables. So I believe you can get an idea right now that everything how it's interconnected to each other. The accounts payables is connected to cash management, accounts receivables is connected to cash management, and assets again is connected to accounts payables as well. So, but the main module, if you just speak, the basic one, main module from which the basic finance or accounting starts, that is nothing but the general ledger. So, what exactly is GL? GL is a bucket where the data from all the modules will flow into one place. Okay. From accounts payables, you do transactions in accounts payables and accounts receivables. So what are they? They are just nothing but transactions. Okay. So these monetary transactions at a certain point of time has to be recorded on a periodic basis. Okay. So what the organizations do is either they move the data from AP and AR and all the subledgers to the general ledger on a periodic basis, like weekly basis or monthly basis. But ultimately, they has to come to GL. Now the question is why? Why they have to come to GL? Okay, because in subledger modules like AP, AR, FA, and CM, in all these FA, these subledger module, what happens is they record the transaction. They do not do any accounting. But if you see the finance, the main perspective of finance and everything is to do accounting. You have to record the amount, exactly how you are doing it. Okay, the transactions, if there's any particular transaction is done, that has to be recorded, that has to be accounted. And this accounting is done is nothing but general ledger. That is why the data is moved from the subledgers to GL. All the accounting entries like journal entries, and apart from that you can see the balance sheets, you can see trial balance, the basic accounting reports, the basic account reports, you can see all of them in GL. Okay, so you can see like this is the workflow like of the five subledger modules, and it's flowing to GL. Okay. So now coming up to implementation. Till now we have just understood what exactly is an ERP, and how these modules, these five modules work out basically. Okay, GL, AP, AR, FA, and CM. When come to implementations, basically for fusions we have got we have got two types of implementations. Okay, on-premise and cloud. So on-premise is something like on the servers will be set up in your company, in your organization, wherein you have to deploy everything. But cloud is something like you will be given the space, you can just take the space and deploy it. You can have your any cloud. Oracle also provides the cloud. Google also provides the cloud. Microsoft also provides the cloud. You can just select any and you can do the deployments. Okay. So going forward, we have to understand what exactly is the difference between cloud and SaaS. Okay. SaaS is nothing but a software as a service. So in future, why I'm telling you right now is going forward for Fusion, we have the scope more in cloud and SaaS. So there will be no on-premise, hardly any on-premise in Fusion, because if you see the basic RAM, if you want to install any Fusion software, the basic RAM itself should be of at least 250 GB RAM at least. Okay, 250 GB. So obviously going forward, for huge data, huge companies, that will not be possible mostly. And Fusion is nothing but the cloud. The cloud is the future. Okay. So here we just want to understand a basic scenarios. I would like to give you an example of a software as a service. Nowadays, if you just see Microsoft, so okay, I'll just give you one example here. So Microsoft is giving you an MS Office package. Okay. So in MS Office, you will have MS Excel, PowerPoint, and you will have Word, MS Access will be there, and Analytics will be there. Some big tools will be there. So there will be in MS Office package. There will be around 11 to 12 different packages. Okay. But suppose you need only Excel, PowerPoint, Word. That's what majority of the people use. Only Excel, PowerPoint, and Word. So what you can do is you can just pay for that only instead of buying the whole software of a whole package. You can just pay for these three packages and you can use it. So suppose the whole MS Office package. Just take an example. It's coming to you for 5,000 rupees. Okay. And instead of that, you are having an option to use only these three packages online, and that too almost 500 rupees paying every year. So for these three packages it will be 1,500, whereas instead of buying the whole package you can just take these three. So that's nothing but the SaaS, software as a service. Okay. So modern cloud, what we can see the Fusion. Okay, unlike EBS, Fusion has many more criteria, and it is expanded to many level. So you can see that it can be connected to web. Obviously EBS functionality was also there with web, but you can see social media, mobile analytics, all these things are there. It has evolved. So if you see in my first slide, or the second slide, when I was explaining to you about ERP. So that we have evolved from the manual interpreting of the data to ERP. Okay, right now it is the more evolution of going on cloud. Okay, so from on-premise, people are moving into cloud, and obviously they need everything handy. Even though if you just take an example of Flipkart or anything, before shopping was different, but right now everything is done on mobile itself. So Fusion comes with these features. There will be many approvals. They can be set up of many invoice approvals and reports, analytics. Everything can be done on mobile also, or on tab as well. So this is the features and everything Fusion has come up with. The cloud has come up with. So basically, when you come up to projects, any ERP projects, Fusion, there will be three types of projects: implementation, support, and rollout. So implementation is nothing but it's something like you are deploying it a new for the first time. Okay, so suppose you are using some XYZ software before and you want to install or implement a new Fusion. That's nothing but implementation software. Okay, then rollout. So if you just go back or roll back to your first example, we are having 4 factories, right? So one was in Jamshedpur and one was in Hyderabad, one was in Delhi, one was in Mumbai. So implementation, how this work is first they will not implement this in all places at one time. They will just pick up one place. Let's take it Hyderabad first. Okay. So in Hyderabad, they will do the implementation and they will do some prior setups, some basic setups will be done. And the same setups will be deployed in other three divisions after the successful implementation. So that is nothing but rollout. Okay. I hope you are clear on this, the difference between the implementation and rollout. So first time when we implement anything, so it has to go through many procedures. So many requirements we have to take, many cost centers like the company codes, the data and everything has to be taken, and according to that it has to be customized. But when you go for a rollout, because it is already customized and we know what is the requirement, we already know what are the setups they want. So it will not be a difficult job for us to implement this again in different factories or different locations. So that's why we call it as rollout. That's it. So fine. Once implementation and rollout is done, then obviously we have to give them support also, because because the implementation and rollout, all these procedures are done by expertise only. And while in real time basis, a normal user cannot resolve any problem if it is stuck somewhere. So because of that, we have to provide support as well. So support does goes for a long term. Implementation is like it could be 6 months time, 7 months time, depending on your project size. Okay, and rollout also same, but support generally goes on for like 2 years, 3 years. Support project goes on. So basically working like there will be three types of consultants working in a project. Okay, from the front point of view, that's nothing but technical consultant, functional consultant, and techno-functional consultant. Obviously, DBA guys will be there, but their involvement will not be much into project when it comes to configurations or customizations. So that's why we have got only three types of consultants working in here: technical, functional, and techno-functional. Technical, basically, he works in the back end. So whatever the information is saved from the front end, so it has to be stored in some specific tables. So that is nothing with the back end of your Oracle. Okay. So technical people generally works in back end. So their basic work will be like running up the scripts, resolving the queries from the technical terms, and like if there is any huge data to be moved, a functional consultant from the front end he cannot do it, but a technical consultant he can just in a few minutes or a few span of time he can just move huge data in the back end tables. Okay, so there's a lot of things technical people do. Then we can see the functional. So being this course is mostly related to functional consultant course. Okay, so here we should understand the basic functionalities of a functional consultant. So he works in the front end, he take the requirement from the client, and based on that, based on the methodology, implementation methodology, we record that data and we customize it accordingly and do the implementation. Techno-functional is the one who knows the front end and back end both of a particular ERP. That's nothing but a techno-functional consultant. Okay, so let us see the roles of a functional consultant. As I said, you like this course is more specific towards a functional one. So the basic configuration, gap analysis, documentations, performing SIT. SIT is nothing but system integration testing. UAT is nothing but the user acceptance testing, and all stages of testing. So different regression testing. There will be many testings. So these are two examples. And apart from that, workshops. So what exactly is this workshops? So once the implementation is done, deployment is done, obviously our client will be new to this software. So we have to make sure that he is comfortable. We have to conduct some workshops. We have to make sure that he is comfortable with that. So apart from that, while implementing also there will be many workshops done in order to understand the requirement of the client. Okay. So what we have to do is like on a frequent basis after doing or after reaching a particular milestone, we have to conduct a workshop and explain to client. So these are nothing but the roles of a functional consultant. Okay. So like users, So this is not much to you as of now. Okay. For EBS people, I would like to say before when you see in EBS, we used to go to system admin and we used to create a user from there, and we didn't had any differences over the, like different types of users. But here a user can be created in two ways. One will be like a implementation user and one will be like employee user. Their they will their job and their roles will be a little bit different. An implementation user can do configurations and setups, whereas employee user can do all the end transaction activities. So here when we speak about the differences little bit on EBS and cloud, I would like to say the basic architecture is changed when compared to EBS. In EBS, we used to have like Java, and it was developed on Java versions. Home pages were there, but when you see to cloud, it's completely web-based application. So here you do not require any Java installation, nothing like that. You can just work from the web only. So that's the basic criteria. Like if Fusion is moved to cloud, so when you are working from any place, anywhere, they need everything to be web based. So that's why they have come up with all these things. Apart from that, for EBS, if you see, everything was based on responsibilities. Okay, so for accounts people, so we used to create a responsibility, and we can alter the responsibilities also. Like for a functional consultant, we can give a different responsibility, and for a user or a small end user, for him we can create a different responsibility according to his functions, and we used to give him. But in Fusion or in cloud, what's happening is there isn't any concept of responsibilities at all. So here, how the concept works? The concept basically works on the roles. Here, everything is based on roles. It's completely role-based control. Okay. So after creating, suppose you have created a user and you want him to work on the setups. So what you have to do is basically you have to assign a role to him, like you will be having consultant role or implementation user role. So these roles has to be assigned to that particular user. Then only he can go and do the setups, and everything based the actions of that user can be restricted based on roles. If the user needs to access and to create, he wants to create a invoices, AP invoices, and he wants to do AP accounting as well. So there are some 2 to 3 roles like AP manager role, AP supervisor roles. These roles can be attached to an employee user. So these employee users can only work on that particular specific area depending on the roles that has been assigned to him. He cannot do any implementation. In fact, he cannot view it also. Okay, he cannot view any other thing apart from that the roles. Like we used to have responsibilities over there. Here the roles are there. Okay, so going forward we'll see everything more in depth how things can go on. So here I'm just giving you an overview, and apart from that, if you see the reporting wise also, it's very much different. So in EBS, when compared to EBS in this, the basic, as I said you, the basic architecture when it comes to like the primary ledgers, and we used to have the segments, different segments. Here the different segment and flex field qualifiers. While setting up of your chart of accounts, it was different. Okay, we used to have 6 qualifiers in EBS, whereas we have got 8 of them in Fusion or cloud. We'll see what are they and why they are used going forward. Okay, so these are some of the basic differences. But the best thing I can tell you is everything comes in one page only. So we don't have to switch on the responsibilities. In one page only you can see everything. And apart from that, the setups for AP are quite easy and very much same. Setup of AR, all the subledger setups are very easy and it's 100% same. If you are an ABS consultant, so it will be very much easy for you to understand the subledger setups. Okay, And the GL wise, if you see, it's quite different, little bit or moreover different. Like I'll just give you one more example. Like while creating a primary ledger, we used to create operating unit there only. We used to create a in business group and business units over there. But in Fusion, it's completely different. The business groups are different, and the operating units or business units are completely different here. We do not have to create and that first, and then only we can it's nothing like, it's not much related to primary ledger. Okay, so fine, we'll see that much in detail going forward. Okay,